What's up guys, Eric from Beastline. Today we have here a 2016 and 2019 Lexus RX without factory navigation. It's a little bit different than the models with factory nav. It has a larger screen. It also has a little mouse joystick, free-flowing mouse. For the non-nav version, you get a little jog dial, it's a rotary dial, and you also have a smaller screen. So we have the CarPlay Android Auto retrofit kit solution for this vehicle as well. Once again, it's all plug and play. Very easy to install. We do have to get behind the screen and the radio to install it. But other than that, everything is already pre-configured for the vehicle. We have exact spots where you can mount the two boxes. And on top of that, we have plug and play harnesses as well. So we have a few videos already of how to install our S-Connect kit on this non-nav Lexus RX model. We decided to do a new one just because we have some updated information which is a little different than the previous video showed. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through those very thoroughly. At the same time, I wanna point out specific part of the installation that a lot of you guys keep making mistakes on. So I'll be sure to really focus on that as well. So let's stop talking, let's go inside the car and get this installed. All right guys, so now that we're in the vehicle, let's go ahead and get started on the install. The first thing we're gonna do is the easiest, just remove the shift knob, just push down on the shift boot, grab a hold of this, push down, and just turn it counterclockwise. All right, okay. And then put it in a safe location where you will not damage it. And next, let's remove this panel here. You could use a panel removal tool to help you assist it by tucking it in here, or you could just grab a hold of this, just pull it towards you, like so. And then just be very gentle, work your way towards the front, and just pull it out like so. Okay, and let's set this aside. And then let's remove this trim here. Just push this clip out from the inside, like so. Just work your way all the way to the left. All right. And then let's start working here. Before we remove this, let's remove this panel here. So grab a hold of this, left hand, thumb, and just pry it out like that, okay? All right, next, let's remove this. Place your finger here and just pull out. And then let's remove the connector that's holding the start button. Just the clip is gonna be on the left side, the release clip. Just push down and then just pull out like so. Okay, let's leave this on the side. All right, and next, we are going to remove the panel that surrounds the screen. Just use a panel removal tool. You could use one like this. I'm gonna tuck it in here. And I'm just going to bring it out like this. And next, let's remove this. I like to just place my finger down and just pull up. All right, very easy. All right guys, so before we go forward with this, so this is once again the non-nav version. How you could tell if you have the non-nav version is of course, you don't have the factory navigation. If you have the Scout app, that doesn't count as the factory nav, it's just an app that they put in. But you also notice that you have the smaller screen, okay? The nav version, actually, screen comes out all the way. It's a 12.3-inch screen, the smaller screen. On top of that, you have this little jog dial over here, okay? You can move around. If you have the nav version, it's a little mouse, like a free-flowing mouse. So that is the difference. This is a non-nav, it has a little dial, and it has a small screen. That's how you know you have the non-nav version. All right, so after we remove these panels, next we're going to start removing these 10mm bolts. We got 3 here. We got 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's remove those first. You can use a power tool or you can use a ratchet with a 10mm socket, whichever works for you. It's okay. All right, so we just remove those. I'm not gonna disconnect the connectors on this yet, just gonna leave those unbolted. And now let's remove the 2 10mm bolts that's holding the radio. There's gonna be one on each side, one here and one on the other side. From the driver, we need to get it from the driver's side. This one I like to remove it using a wrench because it's very easy to drop that 10mm bolt. And you don't want to drop it. If you drop it, you're probably not going to find it. Okay, so we're going to use this wrench. We're going to go down here and then go up. So in order to do that, I do have to lay down on my back and look up. So you got to kind of look at it at this angle. You'll see it right there. Okay. All right, and there it is. And once I break it loose, I like to remove the wrench and just twist it using my fingers so I have more control. Okay, once it's out, very carefully pull out, okay? If you don't have a magnetic tip tool like this, you can use a normal 10mm socket. You can place some blue tape in here just so it creates a much firmer hold. So when you remove it, it's less likely it'll fall off the socket. All right, now let's go to the driver's side and remove the other 10mm bolt. Okay, so there it is right here. Driver's side one's easier. There's less likely you'll drop this one, but there's still a chance that you will. So be very careful. Because once again, if you drop the 10mm bolt that's holding the radio, you will not be able to retrieve it. And you will have to go to your local dealership and get a replacement bolt. Okay, here we go. And then we'll put it back in the cup holder. All right, so we are ready to remove the radio. Set a thick towel like this, and we're gonna pull it out, okay? And there's gonna be a connector for your analog clock. Disconnect it, and then place your radio on top of a thick towel like this to protect the interior from any scratches. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect the GVIF connector behind the screen. All right. So compared to the old videos, this is the only connector that goes behind the screen. There's no any other connectors that go back there. Do not get confused, because we had a few cases where the customers would connect one of these connectors behind the screen, but that's no longer the case. All these connectors go behind the radio. This is the only connector that goes behind the screen. If you connect one of those behind the radio, your factory joystick controller will not work. All right, we have more than a few cases of that. In our instructions manual, we do have a connection wiring diagram. So if you review it, it will show you that those connectors down there only connects to the radio, and this is the only connector that connects to the screen. All right, so we are not gonna remove the screen, okay, but you definitely can. We're just going to reach here, just unplug this and plug in our connector. So our female side connects to the male original connector, and then our male connector connects to the screen, like so, okay? All right, and if you notice here, it's going to go over this, so let's rearrange this connector. We're gonna tuck it in right here. And we wanna try avoiding crossing wires as much as possible. So once we have these connected, we're going to grab the other ends of the connector, and we're going to fish it in straight. Let me do one by one. Straight down here, okay. Okay, so what we're trying to achieve here, we're gonna route this all the way to the passenger side, down here. All right, let me see if it came down here. And before we do this, we do have to remove this panel piece here. So let me grab a Phillips screw. So we're gonna remove these two Phillips screws down here, under tray. Assuming these two Phillips screws. Okay, and then let's drop this panel. Okay, remove this connector. Always push down on the release and then pull on the connector, not on the cable. Okay, and then place your hand here and just pull on this part. Okay, there's a little clip that's holding it. And then, all right, okay, there it is. Okay, sweet, here we go. It came down here. That's exactly where you want it. So let me route the second cable now. And to make it easier, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull this up as much as I can without losing the cable. Okay, and I'm gonna grab here and I'm gonna blue tape it in here so that it'll pull to the same route as the first cable went through. There it is. All right. Okay, so here it is. I didn't have to unplug the connector that was going to the monitor so that I have more pull, so I have more wire to pull on. All right, but once this is routed successfully, you can go back to your connector and you can connect it back to the screen. Terrific. So once those two connectors are in place, let's tuck them nicely and place the screen back into its original location. Okay, when you're doing this, just make sure that you're not pinching the wires, you're not getting it caught in any of the brackets. And on top of that, when you're routing the cable down here, there's actually some heater pipes behind here. Make sure it's not touching it as well. So you'll have to go down here and pull on the plastic panel from the bottom passenger side and look up and locate those metal pipes and make sure the cables are not touching the pipes, because those pipes can get really hot, and if it does get really hot and it touches these cables, it will affect it, and then you will have issues or the screen will blink in and out, or you might even get a black screen issue. Terrific. All right. Okay, so we got those cables routed. Now let's connect our main connectors and cables, and let's also route our USB extension cable. Okay, so our USB extension cable is going to go here behind, and then just grab it right here. Okay, where the start button opening is. I'm gonna leave it there. The other end of this is gonna go behind the radio, and we're going to route it back down, okay, to where those other two GVIF cables went. If you like, you can also remove the glove box, which will make it easier to route. All you have to do is remove some screws and two 10mm bolts. But actually, let me just remove this. This part you could remove very easily. Just push down on here, release this clip on the side, and angle this down and bring it out. Okay, and then this offers an opening to the side here. That makes it easier to route the cables down. And then while you're here, you can actually even see the GVIF cables being routed as well. This opening here makes it much easier to route the cables. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there. All right, next, let's connect these bundle of wires. And once again, none of these will go behind the screen. This one here actually fits the monitor screen, so be careful that you don't connect this behind the screen. If you do, once again, I want to emphasize, because it happened many times, your joystick controller won't work if you connect this behind the screen. All right, so we're gonna go here. The three connectors that we are going to focus on is this, and then bottom here. Okay, push down. There it is. And let's connect the car side to our female side, and then our male side to the radio. All right. And we will connect once again the car side to our connector, and then our connector to the car, to the radio. Okay, and lastly, we have the largest connector. This will also connect to our harness, and then to the radio. All right, so on the other end of these cables, we have a few wires. We have the two 3.5mm jacks. One's for the microphone, one's for auxiliary. The auxiliary function we don't use anymore, but you can connect it just because we have it. And we also have this main connector that connects to the dip switch box. So I'm gonna grab all this, gonna route it through same way I routed the USB extension cable. Okay, I grabbed all three at once, but you can route it one at a time. Probably be easier that way. Okay, all right, so all the cables we need are down here. All right, let's go behind the radio and let's organize all these wires and cables. Make sure they don't get pinched anywhere. And while you're routing them, if you feel it gets stuck anywhere, don't just force and pull, because it might be caught on a bracket. And if you're too forceful, you may damage the cable. All right, here we go. Okay, everything is set in place. Then you push this radio back. Don't forget to reconnect this. We have customers who forget to reconnect this and their clock stops working. All right, let's put this back. All right, terrific. And we have our USB extension cable coming out on the left here, and then it's just gonna get tucked right here, right under the radio. All right, so we're gonna come back to the passenger side and let's connect the rest of the kit. We'll start off by connecting our dip switch box. The correct configuration on this is gonna be 1 and 5 on the on position, rest is off. This is very specific to this car model, so it's gonna be pre-configured for you, and you can also double check on the instructions manual as well. All right, so once we have this, let's connect the dip switch box. We'll grab our 2 GVIF cables here. The one that's labeled out, okay, is going to connect to the inside, like so. And the one that's labeled in will connect to the outer edge of the box. All right, make sure you guys get this correct. If you connect them if you connect them incorrectly, you're gonna get a black screen. All right, okay, and then next, let's connect our main connector here. Okay, we'll connect this here, just like that. And then we will connect our HDMI cable. Okay, we're gonna use the L side on this dip switch box, like so. And then what is left is the USB extension, the power cable, the 2 3.5 millimeter cables, and then the HDMI cable. And all this will connect to this CarPlay module, CarPlay Android Auto module. All right, we'll start off with the power. Okay, got the power here. Connect to this power, and it is labeled down here, main power. All right, and then let's connect the 2 3.5 millimeter cables. They will both be labeled. One is going to be labeled microphone in, so we're going to connect to mic in, and the other one is going to be it says aux in, and aux in will connect to line out. Do not connect to external speaker. You have to connect these precisely, or else your phone call audio will not work if you switch these two together. And then, yeah, so make sure these are both connected correctly. Okay, and we have the USB extension cable right here. And then we'll connect our RF antenna. This is for your wireless connection between this device and your phone. Okay, let me connect this first and then the USB. And then we have this HDMI cable that connects here. So this connects between the two boxes. If you don't connect this, you're gonna get a pink screen when you go into CarPlay mode. So now everything is connected. We're going to test the device, and after we confirm testing, we're gonna organize the wires and tuck it in behind this kick panel here. Okay. If you wish, you can also mount it under the glove box if you like. So it's just all up to you. We just we've been mounting it down here. All right, so let me test. All right, guys, so we tested the unit. Everything seems to be working the way it should. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna organize these wires. We're gonna find a place for this antenna, and then reverse order everything we just did, and that will complete the installation. And after we complete the installation, let me do a quick rundown of how everything works. So when you're using these foam tape here for installation, make sure you don't cover these vent holes, okay? If you do, you may overheat them. So you can use it at the edge, but don't do it right here. All right. We had customers who would block the vent holes and they will overheat the system, causing malfunction. All right, so there's a lot of room down here, as you can see. You can, I like to put it under that. I think that's a e-brake cable. You could place it under there, just secure it so that it won't move around even when the car is driving. And whenever, if you ever hit any bumps and stuff, so it won't move around. Just secure it down here. There's plenty of room. You can mount it in many ways you like. And this antenna here, we're just gonna tuck it down here somewhere using double-sided tape. Okay. Just tuck in all the wires. There it is. And let me place that clip back in. It's a plastic clip. Just push it in. All right, and then put the under tray back in here, and we're gonna reverse order everything we just did, and that will complete the install. And just a side note, we will also zip tie this right here. Okay. We want to make sure all the new wires that we installed are out of the way from any and all moving parts of the vehicle. Okay, so this USB extension cable, you're gonna tuck it over here. So make sure it's there when you're putting this panel piece back. And while keeping this USB head here, just press this in. Okay, tuck this up. All right, so USB is there if you need it. If you don't, it's out of your sight. Well, that's it. Now, let me do a quick demo and show you how it works. All right, guys, so we just finished installing our plug-and-play S-Connect CarPlay Android Auto retrofit to this 2016-2020 Lexus RX without factory navigation. This is the most updated video as of September 6th, 2024. So let me run through all the functions with this. So let's first turn on the car. Okay, so all your factory functions remain. Your backup camera works whether you're in the factory Lexus screen or the CarPlay or Android Auto screen. You don't lose any factory functions by installing our kit. Before we use this kit, we want to make sure your phone is connected to the car's Bluetooth. That's because all the audio will route through the car's Bluetooth. So make sure you do that first if you haven't already. So grab your phone, okay? And let's set this up. Let's go to connect. All right, okay, so we're gonna add a device, all right, and then go to your iPhone or Android Auto, or Android phone, go to your Bluetooth settings, and we're going to connect it here. Okay, there it is. It's gonna say hands-free and Lexus RX. Okay, I'm not gonna sync my contacts and favorites because it's not my car. Okay, so everything's connected. So once you connect your phone, press and hold the menu button. All right, and then you'll see this 3 icon screen. This is a screen you see when nothing is connected. So let's do our first initial connection. Go back to your iPhone, go to settings, go to general, and we'll go to CarPlay. And it's CarPlay screen. Just wait until you see under other cars. You'll see the NV17W show up. Here it is. Go ahead and select it. All right, let's pair. Okay, connect. It's important that you connect wirelessly through this menu item. Only do not connect in the Bluetooth menu or the Wi-Fi menu, because if you do, it screws up with the correct order of operation to successfully connect your phone to the wireless CarPlay. All right, and now it's connected. So let's go through some features here. So you can use your music player. Okay, and while you're playing music, you can utilize this track up and down button. You can also utilize your steering wheel control for track up, track down. You can also change the volume, but you don't see the number change, the volume number indicator change, but it is changing. You can also use the steering wheel control volume up and down. All right, and then you'll also be able to use these controls here. Back button works as a back button. Menu button takes you back to the native Lexus screen. Push it again, take you back to CarPlay screen. Your reverse gear works. Backup camera shows. And if you press the audio button, that will engage Siri. So let's compare the Siri volume compared to the music volume. So this is music. Press audio. What's the weather?
The National Weather Service.
So the Siri volume is about the same as the music volume. That's how you want it. If you want to make some adjustments, you definitely can do so. So while the music is playing, you can also control the volume with your phone, okay? And if you want to control the Siri volume, so just press and hold summon Siri, and then while the bubble is up, you can adjust the Siri volume, okay? So if you want both to sound similar volume, make sure the volume level on Siri and also the music is about the same from your phone, okay? And there's also a second way to summon Siri, which is by saying, "Hey Siri," and giving your command, or you can also push and hold the phone call button. What's the weather?
The National Weather Service.
And that also summons Siri, but note that when you summon Siri by saying, "Hey Siri," or pressing and holding the phone call button, Siri volume that's going to be dependent on is going to be your phone call volume. So your calling volume dictates the volume of Siri when you press and hold the phone call button. So it's going to be separate from any other volume from our CarPlay or Bluetooth device. All right, and then another cool feature about our product is when you first turn your car after you pair your phone to the system, right when your phone connects to the CarPlay system, the screen will switch over to the CarPlay or Android Auto screen automatically. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to turn off the car, let everything disconnect. All right. Okay, and then let's turn the car back on again. Okay, so the phone is already paired to our system wirelessly. It's also paired to the car's Bluetooth. Okay, and right when your phone connects to the CarPlay device, still wireless, the screen will switch over to the CarPlay screen automatically. And then the phone has also connected to the car's Bluetooth automatically. All right, and if for any reason you want to use wired CarPlay, you definitely can do so with this cable over here, this connector. You can just connect it. It'll charge your phone while it's using a wired CarPlay or Android Auto. This charges faster than your factory USB plug. The factory USB plug is 1.5 amps. This one is at 2.1 amps. All right, and if you, for any reason, want to use the factory USB for audio, you definitely can do so. So say that you plug it in here. Okay, and you press play. Okay, note that when you plug it in here, the audio source from the Lexus infotainment system switches over to iPod. So there's two ways you go about it. You could press the drag down, you could see where it's playing. It's gonna say dock connector, move it back to car audio, or you can leave it on dock connector. Go back to your Lexus screen by pushing and holding the menu button, and then you can change your media source to iPod. There it is. And that also, and then you could go back to your CarPlay, and this also works as well. Okay, and then all that track up and down, everything will continue to work. Some people like you doing a direct USB connection because the audio quality can be a little bit better. And on top of that, one thing to note, say that you unplug it from here, the Lexus audio system actually turns off on the back, on the background when you disconnect it like this. So just keep that in mind. So when you push play, you're not gonna get any audio, okay? And then if you go to your phone source, it's not gonna detect anything because your Lexus audio has actually turned off. So if you want, you could go back to your menu, you could press your media, it's off, go ahead and turn it back on to Bluetooth, and then you'll get your audio back. All right, so let me now switch it over to the Android device. So I'm gonna disconnect my phone from the car. The easiest way to do so, just go to settings and go to your Bluetooth, turn it off. All right, and then go to your Wi-Fi turned off. This way the phone disconnects from the car's Bluetooth and also disconnects from the wired CarPlay as well. And then we'll grab our second phone, and our second phone is going to be our Android Auto. So Android Auto side, turn off my Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Go to setup, go Bluetooth, and then go to add a device, scan this. There it is, Lexus RX. Okay, and let's pair. So we allow access to messages. Let's deny it, it's not our car. All right, done. Skip. Same process. Once the phone is connected, push and hold the menu button, switch over to this screen, and then let's connect the phone to Android Auto. This one's gonna be a little different. Go to your connections, and we're gonna go to Bluetooth, and we will connect to the MV17W under Bluetooth because we don't have an Android Auto menu on this phone, on an Android phone. So go ahead and pair. All right, there it is. And once you're here, you can use your jog dial to navigate through all the different menu items, same as the CarPlay, and everything will work the same. Track up and down, your steering wheel controls, your phone call pick up and hang up, your backup camera, and so forth. And if you want to switch phones, all you have to do is turn off your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, okay? And then go to your other phone that you want to connect to, and then turn the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi back on. Okay. And then we did delete this phone's profile on the car because it reached the maximum amount, but if it's still there, the Bluetooth portion will automatically connect. If it doesn't, go to your phone, and then just go to media and go to connect phone, and then just select your phone. Okay, select your phone, do that, and then after that, go to your phone. If it doesn't automatically launch the wireless CarPlay, you can just go back to your general CarPlay and then find your CarPlay, and then just reset it by double pressing this CarPlay button in the CarPlay settings menu. All right, guys, well, that concludes our installation and demonstration of our S-Connect CarPlay Android Auto retrofit kit to this 2016 all the way to 2019 Lexus RX without factory navigation. If you have any question, leave a comment below, or you can email us at info@beatsonikusa.com. And if you're ready to purchase this, it is available at beatsonikusa.com, all stocked and ready to go. And if you haven't yet, help our channel by subscribing and liking our channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys on the next video.